for you. And I think that's the biggest thing is, you might be leaning back thinking, okay, this is really good. But if I lean forward and I get a little bit...
What's up? 筋肉翻訳です。さあ今日は前腕を太くきれいに仕上げるコツと種目3選見ていきましょう。前腕を太くしたいって結構聞かれるんですよね。それでもなかなかピックアップされないんですが、上腕がいくら太くても前腕が貧相だとバランスが悪くなってしまいますよね。どんな種目でも物を持つのである程度は太くはなるんですが、もっと太くと考える人も多いのかもしれません。今回はそんな方法とコツをライアンさんが教えてくれています。考え方から教えてくれているので確認していきましょう。どうぞ。
I had a couple requests, so today we're focusing on forearms. Specifically, getting those forearms bigger, the aesthetics of the forearm, not necessarily grip strength. With that being said, the bigger those forearms get, the stronger your grip strength is going to be. So let's get after it.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree.
So I did a little research before making this video because I want to see what everybody else's content was, the exercises they use, and try to give you a couple different variations or crank up the intensity a little bit. I noticed everybody had the same exact exercises, so that's why I'm making this. But forearms are pretty easy, right? Those basic exercises are going to work. It's just kind of mundane and boring, kind of weird to sit in the gym and just sit there and flex your forearm and look around at everybody. It's not the most exciting thing. So let's crank up the intensity a little bit and see if we can have a little more fun with it. So what I did is I loaded up a bar with 225. And what I'm going to do here is pre-exhaust with a cable forearm curl. Start by hitting the anterior side, drop the weight, hit the posterior side, and then walk over there and do a static hold. Now the reason for that is I don't love farmer's carries. For me, or most of my clients, for me it's just too trap dominant, right? It's just, I have overbearing traps, so I'm going to feel it and I'm going to mentally tell myself to quit because my traps are aching before my forearms ever give out.
Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
One thing you'll notice is I don't just keep my arms locked out and try to curl the wrist from there. I'll actually curl up about 45 degrees and then start the flexion. Same thing goes with the posterior side. Drop the weight a little bit, come up to about 45 degrees and then start the extension. Now I do 20-30 reps on these, or a weight that I can get around that number until they start to fail, because for me, any heavier than that, you lose the form, you lose the ability to contract the muscle like you should. The best results you're going to see higher reps, higher volume, pushing that blood.
They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
That's a little side note. If you're somebody like me who just wears straps on everything, I don't deadlift without them, I won't lift anything that I can lose my grip on before the actual muscle I'm trying to train gives out, it's important to hit forearms, so don't neglect them. So the one thing I do that's a little bit different is I'll hop on a preacher curl bench like this, I'll hop on this side, set up in a 45-degree angle, and what I'm trying to do is work against this point here and make the opposing forearm muscles work against each other. So say I'm starting with the posterior side, I'll set up in a 45-degree angle, flex up, and the only thing I can equate it to is if you've done leg extensions and you try to do lying leg curls, and the pump that's in your quads, you have to work against that consciously. Same idea here, and I think there's also a little bit of an element of blood flow restricted training because you're just pinching off that muscle, forcing a ton of blood in there, flipping it over, doing the opposite side and going back and forth until you just have so much blood you can't move those forearms at all. For me, this has always been the one that I feel the most. I don't know why, it's just a little bit different. I think it's just you're consciously aware of that forearm because you're flexing against something, even if it's on the opposing side. At the end of the day, it's tough to beat the cable because you can hit it from any angle, you can lean back, you can find the perfect spot for you. And I think that's the biggest thing is, you might be leaning back thinking, okay, this is really good. But if I lean forward and I get a little bit curl into it, now I'm really feeling that posterior side, or maybe you just start doing a little bit of a reverse curl, and that's where you really feel that tension as you start to curl up and flex. And don't be afraid to change the grip. Use a rope, tie a rope, use one-handed, do different variations, and really just sit there and be methodical with it and put some time into it to where, figure out what works best for you. Because I can show you all the different exercises in the world, but if they don't fit for your body and your biomechanics, it's not going to matter.
でしたでしょうか。フォームを保つためには20回から30回がおすすめとのことでした。動かなくなるほどパンパンにパンプさせるんですね。終わった後プロテインも触れなくなりそうです。前腕をより太くきれいにしたい方は試してみてください。そして感想を教えてください。動画のリクエスト、チャンネル登録お待ちしてます。ではまた。
I won't look back when you're around. I won't think twice when you're gone. Don't hesitate.